Hello. I wanted to do a video today on importing assets from Gaea or another similar program into Blender. I just released this desert landscape asset pack. You can find it in the link in my description on my Gumroad. It includes an 8K hero landscape, two 4K modular assets, and two tiled textures that are also 4K. And then each of these assets contains these files. If you would like to follow along with this, like I said, the link is in the description. But if you have your own exports from Gaea, you can use those as well. You can see right off the bat, this is two assets right here. I did my best to blend the variation and the color so that they fit seamlessly together. And I just wanted to walk you through bringing in the other props. So I have landscape and prop 2 right now in the scene. These are these two objects. And then I wanted to bring prop 1 in and show you how I did that. So first of all, we can take prop 2. We're going to duplicate this. Just put it right there. We're going to go into geometry nodes right here. Actually, first of all, let's name this accordingly, prop 1. And then we're going to go into geometry nodes here. I have a super simple setup, two import OBJ nodes, a scene node with viewport, two switches, one connecting to the viewport, and then one connecting to a low poly override parameter. So what we're going to do is, let's make another geometry node setup. We're going to go in and find the high quality mesh for prop 1, and we're going to find the lower poly mesh, put those in there. Okay, next we're going to come down here. I'm going to duplicate this prop 2 material. I'm going to name it prop 1 accordingly, and then I'm going to switch this set material to prop 1. Okay, now that we have that, I'm going to go in and apply the respective textures, starting with ambient occlusion, albedo, and the normals. So once you have these maps in, you can see that I have the color plugged into a gamma and then a hue saturation value node so that when you duplicate these materials, you can keep the color consistent. I have this multiplied with the ambient occlusion just to highlight these ridges and the rocks. And then I also have the color out into an invert color, a gamma, and a map range. I just plug that into the specular just to give some variation. It's not very scientific. It just looked good in my opinion. So it's not super noticeable, but it does help. And then I have the normals plugged into a normal map, and then that's just plugged into the BSDF. So if we go back up to the geometry nodes, this low poly override, I have that checked on now. That helps when I'm iterating and I want to see how a scatter system looks or a lighting setup looks, and I don't need it to load the full 8K render mesh into the render, so I'll just have it bypass and keep the low poly mesh in the render view as well. And then after that, you have your mesh ready to go. You can position it accordingly. And like I said, I did do my best to make it blend well into the landscape, but sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around with to get something that looks really good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. And then after that, I just have a very simple sky texture set to multiple scattering. You can play around with that how you like. And then I have my cloud shadows object. If you'd like to see how this is made, go check out my last video. I cover some super lightweight scene tips that cover some lighting, volumetric fog, and some basic scattering with geoscatter. But besides that, that's all you really need to get up and running with a simple scene like this. I hope this was useful. If you have any ideas for assets or biomes in the future, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.